Hey kids, Pastebin here. Today I'll be presenting a how-to on cheesing Pacific Standard Job with the added Elite Challenge bonus on top. I know there's already a few videos out there about how it's done, but they butchered 3 or 4 things about it and don't explain everything fully. So what I'd like to do is go into detail a little more to try and help you understand as much as possible when it comes to finishing Pacific with the fullest cheese.
It's the new meds.
For the full cheese experience, there's 3 setups done in Finale before the actual start of the bank robbery: car setup, helicopter setup, and time reset. To start off, you take any 4-door vehicle from the street. We've tested it out plenty and we found out it doesn't matter if the car is driven by an NPC or not. If you choose to steal one from an NPC, don't kill him, just drag him out. Take the stolen car and drive to your garage. The apartment location doesn't matter for this setup because any apartment will do. You park the car outside your garage, distance just enough from the blue dot, 6 to 10 feet should do. Walk inside your garage and stay there for 2 to 3 seconds. Walk back outside and the car should be safe for the getaway. It's really a 50-50 split on whether the car decides to save or not, so to play it safe, I personally have 3 guys save a car each. Hopefully, one sits for the getaway. Take the saved car and park it next to the bank doors on the sidewalk and space it out so it doesn't get damaged during the eventual shootout. Hop out the car and hit both checkpoints, the one on the sidewalk and the one in front of the bank doors. That's the end of the car setup. Next up, helicopter setup. As the other 3 teammates go for cars, you'll be driving your personal upgraded motorcycle towards the cop station from Prison Break Station, as shown right there. A block further there will be a staircase that you'll have to climb. At the peak, you'll be able to see the roof of the cop station across the street. On that roof, there's a helipad that will be a guaranteed Maverick or Buzzard spawn. It may not show up on the first try, but it'll be there eventually. If you're not lucky enough to get on the first try, go back downstairs and drive your bike 2 blocks away and drive back. Personally, I drive down the block until I hit an alley where bums live. Whether it's your second or third try, maybe even more, you keep walking up the staircase until a helicopter spawns on the roof of the cop station. And there's a guaranteed helicopter spawn. Next thing you have to do is get downstairs. You see on the video that I do a goofy thing here and I jump off the top of the staircase. When it comes to doing this in a heist, don't bother unless you have full health, otherwise the death sends you back to your apartment and despawns the helicopter, so you would have spent all that time for nothing. Once you are downstairs, you hop on your motorcycle and you head towards the bridge. The reason why a personal modded motorcycle is needed is because you're going to be doing a jump from this bridge onto the roof of the cop station to retrieve that helicopter. So what you'll want in your modded bike is, turbo, Matt's engine, Matt's tuning, all that other stuff. And you're going to want to use that bike. Any bike will do. My personal favorite is the Batty 801. And you're going to want to jump on the roof, as shown right here in the video. The way I also do it is I mark this spot over here, the middle of the road with the yellow line. And I like to set back and I like to start the wheelie as soon as I pass that yellow line. So you'll see how it's done right here. Thankfully I did it on the first try. It's an easy jump to fuck up. I even fucked it up myself a ton of times until I get the right one, but I got it here in the first try, thank goodness. What you're gonna do next, obviously hop in the helicopter. Gonna start flying up in the air and you're gonna land that in the road next to your garage. Now, unlike the car setup, you do need a specific apartment to save your helicopter. 0604 Las Lagunas Boulevard, a mid-tier apartment that costs $126,000 and it has 6 spots for cars in the garage. This is a must-have apartment if you're ever doing Pacific Standard Job and you need to be the pilot when no one else can. And if you have the apartment while nobody else does, buy this immediately. It's cheap, it's good, must have. As I was saying before, you're gonna park the helicopter on the street next to your garage. Hop out, go inside your garage, and just like the car setup, you'll stay inside for 2 to 3 seconds. You walk out, and the helicopter is a guaranteed save. The final thing that must be done as a helicopter setup guy is going up the block and staying on this corner right here, because you're gonna be in charge of the time reset glitch. Time reset can only be done by the helicopter guy. All he has to do is kill NPCs until cops show up. This purposely fails the mission. This is done on purpose because when you've all voted to restart, you'll spawn across the street from the bank with the Elite Challenge timer starting at 0 on respawn. This is also a good window of time to see if you saved the car. If a single car wasn't saved, you can do the car setups over again and do time reset again with no problem. If and when you notice a car was saved after respawn, everybody makes a run for it to the bank doors. This concludes the setups done before the job. If everyone knows exactly what to do and how to do it at this point, the setups ought to take 4 to 6 minutes on average, if everything was done to perfection. Now it's finally time for Pacific Standard job, the actual robbery. Alright, so from here on out, it's just going to be straightforward gameplay of the actual finale. No more setups, it's just the robbery. Alright, so the first thing that should be done after that cutscene is doing this, killing the 2 guards on the main floor. They're the only threats at the moment. Also, when you're doing that section with the 2 guards, all you have to do is just, hit them with a headshot or whack them in the back of the head. That does the trick. If you're shooting them though, make it quick, clean, and precise. Otherwise, you're gonna be messy. You're gonna hit a hostage, God forbid, because you're doing the Elite Challenge. Why else would you have bothered with time reset? Before you actually start the finale for Pacific Standard, you should know a couple of things. First and foremost, you're going to want at least one person that's level 100 in your queue. And I'll explain that in a bit. Pacific Finale has 3 roles for 4 people: Hacker, Demolition, and 2 people on crowd control. You're going to need the level 100 guy on crowd control because he should have the RPG unlocked by now, the one you unlocked at level 100. Having that out during crowd control maximizes the intimidation for the crowd. You'll never have to worry about shooting around to keep the bar steady as long as you have the RPG out. Unfortunately, I fucked up the hack over here as hacker. It didn't hurt me in the long run, but it's still not a good thing to admit to or even show in a video here. So, fuck me, am I right? Use the remaining thermal explosives on the titanium gates in the vault. This is the job of crowd control number 1, just whipping the RPG out, scaring everybody with it. You already saw a bit throughout the video there where the Demolition was doing their job. There's 3 doors they have to detonate, or blow up rather, I don't know what the hell you call it, but there's 3 doors they gotta take care of. They took care of it, so you know what Demolition does. Here I'm showing you what crowd control number 2 does. Upstairs, after the first door is broken down, they go upstairs and they camp this door up here. Cops come out of here. I don't know how many it is yet. I've never bothered to count. Maybe it's 4 of them. But they come up here. They come out of there. And they start coming down the stairs and they start shooting at us. So instead of having to take, unnecessary damage like being shot by cops from upstairs, what the one crowd control does, that is an RPG. It just shoots them down. That's it. And I guess I kind of forgot to mention, as hacker, all you have to do is just hack that one door and open the vault, go back upstairs. Oh, and another thing, if you haven't noticed by now, I'm obviously not helping with the cash collection. That's because we only have one guy collect the cash whenever we're going for Elite Challenge, because, I mean, you don't have to do it only for Elite Challenge, but if there's only one guy collecting the cash and he gets hit by the cops, he's the only one milking the money away. Whereas if you do it with two people collecting the cash and they both get hit, you know, you lose double the money, so why take that chance? Just have one guy collect all the cash. So that's really all there is to it when it comes to being inside the bank. Our collector collected all the cash, RPG took care of RPG, cop guy took care of cops, and hacker does nothing but hack and just idle around. Now it's time for the shootout. So you just collected all the cash. Hopefully you never killed a hostage or did some shenanigans to get news called in. If the teller never hit the alarm in a small cutscene, you're still safe for Elite and you won't have to deal with news. The cutscene starts, the cops are surrounding the bank entrance. When the cutscene ends right there, you're going to want the collector to hide inside the bank while the other three teammates are going to wipe all the cops outside. Be careful and avoid hitting your saved vehicle. Be even more careful with explosives, man. They kill the cops faster than a minigun, of course, but one mistake and you blow the Elite Challenge away. After the coast is clear, everybody has to hop in a saved vehicle. It's finally safe for your cash collector to come outside. Collector hops in the back and holds Zats. Now, I know I say all this, but I fucked up over here because I get in the wrong car. I get in my own. Everybody's already in theirs. So I can run over a little bit here. We're milking the clock, and our cash collector did something wrong. They're not in the back of the car, so they get hit a little more. But they're doing the right thing by ducking, holding X. So that was the shootout. Here's the getaway. You drive through all the checkpoints, and unfortunately our driver is doing a pretty job with the turning, so we're getting hit as we know we're driving through. To avoid this as much as possible, what I usually ask for our guys to do is to shoot the cops as we're driving, except for the cash collector, of course, because that'll down the cops, that'll kill the cops, that'll stop them from shooting us in general. If you follow the route correctly, you're gonna make it to the bikes. Normally what you're supposed to do is, you know, hop on the bikes, drive through the fucking mountains and the tunnel, yada yada yada. We're not gonna be doing that. We have the helicopter. Fuck the bikes. So what I asked for one guy to do is to destroy all 4 bikes. If you don't destroy all of them, the checkpoints won't show up. Also, this needs explaining why you're doing cheesy and it's a little bit goofy, but if you really have to know, before you start finale, you need an experienced pilot if you're gonna be doing the cheese strats. Because otherwise, you know, you're just gonna crash and burn, God forbid. So I didn't get to explain a little bit or a lot back there, but after the drive and the stop, you all have to get out of the car. Your experienced pilot who knows the cheese strats either hops in the helicopter for the quick getaway or stands beside the pilot door. Collector hides behind the walls. One guy has to take care of cover fire to protect not only the collector but the pilot as well if he hops in the helicopter for the quick getaway. Last and most certainly, like I mentioned, you have to have one person destroy all 4 bikes. Once they're gone, run towards the helicopter and start flying away. Also, a huge suggestion over here, but have your collector riding shotgun, because if they're out in the side seats like our collector over here, they're gonna get hit by the helicopters on the air and the cops on the ground, and they're gonna start draining money from the side seat. So have them on shotgun. Safest seat in the helicopter. So here's the first of 2 cheeses the pilot must know before, you know, becoming pilot for finale. There in the short distance you see this blue-green bridge, pretty big. You're gonna have to fly under it. Flying under the bridge tricks the game into thinking you hit all the checkpoints, all but one. There goes one, and you'll see the rest in a little bit there. But you got to do that if you're going to be pilot. And is the second trick. What you'll have to do is fly towards the final checkpoint, which is the jump off the cliff onto the water. I fucked up my flying here. I'm usually good at that part, but I fucked it up there. Anyway, doing that trick right there, as you see in the minimap, makes the cops disappear. No more cops as you land your helicopter safely onto the boat. So don't rush this part if you've done it right. All you gotta do, land safe, hop out the helicopter, get in the boat. That's game. And I just fucked up so many things about this finale. I know I've definitely done a better job than this before, in terms of hacking, and in terms of being a pilot and getting the tricks done right, properly and perfectly. My dumbass forgot to turn off the open mic, so you get to hear clicks like this every once in a while, or my fucking phone on the side here set off with notifications. But if I need to, I'll record a better finale, and I don't know, I'll upload that separately. But never mind. That's the end of the finale. We cheesed it. Helicopter, car, yada yada yada. Oh, and we lost a lot of money. This is the last hurdle of the Pacific Standard finale. It's the cutscene. It's unskippable. There's no cheese for this. Just wait till it's done. It's done. You finished the finale. Congratulations. Now, okay, I lied about the last hurdle. This is it. Finding out whether you got the Elite Challenge done or not. Drumroll, it's 951. Alright, so on average I usually get 920, 940 time for Elite. That's a little overestimate, but we did a good job. We got Elite Challenge, we got most of the money. It's done, it's over. That's the end of Pacific Standard job. And that's really all there is to it when it comes to cheesing Pacific Standard job finale. You already know all the setups: helicopter, car, times reset. There's the getaway with the car and the helicopter, the two cheeses at the end with the flying under the bridge, and the last checkpoint hover. That's it. You've seen the whole video. Thank you. Till next time.